representing the Philippines.
At all times, follow my instructions. We will keep it clean.
Tough luck, that jab. Especially that showcase. Some boxing in this one.
Ain't kidding. She knocks him out harder than men. Denice Zamboanga. She started martial arts because her brother wanted her to be able to defend herself. They didn't plan on building a weapon. But every single person who has stepped into a cage with Denice Zamboanga since January 2017 has found out the hard way that there is no safe version of this fight. She's 105 pounds of pure violence, and she had been finishing people since before anyone knew her name. Welcome to Punch Club, fellas. Here we go. Jihin Rajuan, one mark of greatness. By December 2019, Denice Zamboanga had already built something dangerous on the regional circuit. 5 fights, 4 finishes, 0 losses. She armbarred opponents in Quezon City, venues nobody outside the Philippines was watching, TKO'd undefeated fighters at Araneta, and walked through everyone the URCC put in front of her. One champion had seen enough. They called. December 6, 2019, Axiata Arena, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. This wasn't a quiet debut in Bangkok, not a coal main slot in Manila. They threw her straight into hostile territory and gave her the hometown hero to welcome her to the biggest stage in Asia, MMA. Jihin Rajuan, the Shadow Cat, Wushu World Champion, former MMA champion, purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, she came in 5-1, riding a 4-fight win streak, and the entire building believed she was about to make it 5. The betting public agreed. 75% picked Jihin, 25% picked the girl from Manila, whom nobody had heard of yet. Denice had done her homework. She'd watched Jihin fights, studied the striking everyone was hyping, and found the one place she thought she had an edge, wrestling. She was about to test that theory in front of an arena that wanted her to fail. The bell rang and both fighters came out measured. Jihin was patient, using her length to stay on the outside, looking for openings. Denice circled, watching, refusing to give Jihin the fight she wanted. The crowd wanted action. They weren't getting it. Referee Olivier Coste had seen enough inactivity. He issued yellow cards to both fighters. That's a warning and a reset. The kind of moment that changes the energy of a fight, because suddenly neither fighter could afford to be cautious anymore. Denice took the hint. She shot in, dragged Jihin to the canvas, and the wrestling advantage she'd predicted became the story of the fight.
Big corner. And Zamboanga engages her immediately. They tie up dead center of the circle. Zamboanga going to drive her down.
Top position, pressure, control. Every time Jihin tried to create space, Denice shut it down and kept her pinned beneath the weight. From above, Denice started working. Short punches, elbows, nothing flashy, just steady accumulation. Softening Jihin while the Malaysian crowd watched their hero get smothered.
Wanga, so she can maintain that underhook so she can start to move. But she's doing a really good job of getting back into full guard. And you know just how dangerous Jihin Rajuan.
Round 1 ended with Jihin still dangerous but visibly behind. Round 2, Jihin pulled out her jiu-jitsu. She locked up a triangle choke from her back, the kind of submission that had finished fighters before. And for a moment, the crowd thought they were about to see the comeback. Denice stayed calm, defended, survived. Then Jihin switched to an armbar, wrenching Denice's arm, hunting for the tap.
In the takedown defense category, but she's kind of just falling into the takedown because she's so comfortable off her back looking for these submissions.
The round ended before she could finish it. Round 3, Jihin came out swinging. She scored a reversal, landed knees inside the clinch, and gave the arena a brief moment of hope that maybe this was still winnable.
Put her on her back, and then she's trying to look for those submissions. She has to be the initiator. She has to be aggressive. She's got 5 minutes to...
Denice took her down again, back to the canvas, back to the top position. Back to the place where Sheehan had no answers. Sheehan went for one last triangle choke. Denice's hand was trapped in the worst possible position, and if there had been 10 more seconds, Sheehan might have finished it. But the bell rang, and when the judges' scorecard came back, all three had the same name written on them. Unanimous decision, Denice Zamboanga. The Malaysian crowd went silent. The girl they'd never heard of just walked into their house, took down their champion, and walked out 6-0. One championship debut, hostile territory, undefeated wushu champion. The entire arena were against her, and she left Kuala Lumpur with her hand raised and the contract in her pocket. But if anyone thought that performance was the ceiling, what waited 8 months later in a COVID bubble in Bangkok was going to make it clear that Denice Zamboanga was just getting started. What's a Pina Cow Kong? 1. A new breed. On August 28, 2020, Impact Arena Bangkok, a closed-door COVID bubble show. No crowd, just fighters, cameras, and the most important night in the Zamboanga's family history. Drax Zamboanga, Denice's older brother, the man who first put gloves on her hands, was making his one championship debut on the same card. Two siblings on the same night, same promotion. The Philippines was watching from home. What's a Penyo Kokong was the Thai National Judo Championship, making her professional debut. She was no pushover, decorated on the ground with championship credentials, and her entire game plan was built around one thing: get Denice off her feet and take her somewhere strikers panic. From the opening bell, Denice didn't let that plan breathe. She immediately pursued, making full use of her reach advantage, snapping Kwao Kong's head back with straight rights that landed clean within the first 20 seconds.
The power early on here from Denice Zamboanga, Muay Thai clinch, and the gut-punching knees from the Filipina. Beautiful control.
After a few flurries, she pushed into the clinch, and that's where things got brutal. Thunderous knees to the body, over and over, each one softening Ko Kwang's core, each one making the thought of a takedown more and more expensive. Then Denice decided to take her down first. Double leg, textbook, side control locked before Ko Kwang even understood what had happened.
From Denice Zamboanga, there's some ground and pound from the world number one. We know that Angela Lee and Bruno Pucci, husband and wife, are watching.
From there, Denice pinned down the right arm of her knee, softened her with short punches, then grabbed the left arm and wrenched the Americana. Kwao Kong tapped at 1 minute and 28 seconds of round one. 88 seconds. The judo champion never got to use her judo. Later that same night, Drax submitted his opponent with a rear naked choke at 4 minutes and 58 seconds of round two. Both Zamboanga's siblings won on the same card for the same promotion on the same night. The Philippines had its dynasty, and one championship was building something around it. But the woman who was going to test that dynasty the hardest wasn't a judo champion or a regional circuit fighter. She was a Chinese veteran with 23 professional fights and a very specific opinion on whether Denice Zamboanga was dangerous at all. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the video without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but makes a huge difference to us. Thanks a lot, muchly appreciated. Now, back to the video. Lin Hachin won on Prime Video 5, December 3rd, 2022. This fight needs context because by December 2022, Denice didn't arrive as the undefeated rising star. She came with 2 consecutive losses, both to So Hee Ham, both in decisions that the entire division argued about, and she hadn't won a fight in over 2 years. The critics had their narrative locked in, and she can't close fights. She fades late, and she's a gatekeeper, not a champion. And now, one champion was sending her back to the Philippines to fight in Manila for the first time as a one athlete in front of her own people in the building where she needed to prove that everything the doubters said was wrong. Lin Hachin was a Chinese standout with a 15-4 record, taller, longer, coming off her own losses, hungry to derail Denice's comeback before it started. The crowd inside Mall of Asia Arena gave Denice everything. Noise, flags, energy, and she walked out like someone who knew she owed them a performance. From the opening bell, Denice came out swinging. No patience, no feeling out process, straight to work with the jab-cross combination.
Oh, they're going!
There's their right hand.
Wow.
Nice little touch to the chin.
Clipping Lynn clean within the first exchange. Denise's right hand was the story of round one, constantly finding the mark, staggering Lynn in the middle of the frame. But Lynn fired back, landing a solid left hand that briefly rocked Denice, giving the crowd a single terrifying moment before Denice walked through it and kept pushing forward.
By Zamboanga,
Who is actually in her corners landed.
Yeah, I think Lynn here started looking for her. Lynn's not even coming close.
chin.
Round two, Lynn made it physical. She unloaded, thumping leg kick, started swelling Denice's lead leg midway through the round, trying to take the mobility away and make Denice fight as a disadvantage.
Contender.
Good recovery by Zamboanga, but what a turnaround for Lynn Chin. This is where
But Denice refused to let the leg work change in the equation. She kept advancing with intent, kept finding Lynn with a right hand every time Lynn reached into the counter. Round three, Lynn went punch for punch with Denice. And that was the wrong decision. Every exchange, Denice came out ahead, her right hand constantly finding the mark while Lynn's output couldn't match the pace. When the final bell rang, Denice had done enough. Split decision, back in the win column. Not with fireworks, but a statement that mattered more than a highlight reel, because what that win said was simple. She wasn't broken, she was back. And now the title shot was coming. For real this time, Stamp Fairtex, the undisputed champion. This was the fight Denice had been waiting 5 years to get. But 3 weeks before fight night, the call came that she needed to answer. Stamp's knee, torn meniscus, surgery required. The title fight was off. Noel Grandjean, 167, Tawanchai versus Nanawat II. May 21st, 2024. The title fight Denice had been promised, the one she'd been training for, the fight that was supposed to end the 5-year wait. That was gone. The Stamp Fairtex withdrew torn meniscus, surgery, no belt, no championship movement, just another cancellation. Denice could have walked away, could have waited for Stamp to heal. She could have refused to fight anyone else and demanded the title shot be rescheduled. Instead, she continued with it, told One Championship to find her an opponent, any opponent. She was fighting in June whether the belt was on the line or not. June 7, 2024, Impact Arena, Bangkok. Noel Grandjean stepped in on short notice. Thai French judoka, black belt, French judo champion, Dutch national champion, Thailand national champion. She wasn't a tune-up fight. She was a former training partner from Fairtex who knew Denice's game and believed she could exploit it. That familiarity cuts both ways, and Grandjean walked into the cage thinking she had enough intel to win. The bell rang. Denice came out sharp, establishing her jab immediately, using her reach to keep Grandjean on the outside. Grandjean offered a calf kick. Denice answered with a right hand. This pattern was being set early, and it wasn't in Grandjean's favor. Near the 3-minute mark, Grandjean got her moment. She scored a beautiful outside trip, a judo throw that briefly put Denice on the canvas.
Beautiful job as Denice is trying to work her way around to the back. And she does. And now Zamboanga gets the back up.
The judo credentials were real, but Denice popped up immediately and answered with her own takedown, dragging Grandjean down and taking her back. From the back, Denice went to work. Short punches, elbows, softening Grandjean while hunting for the choke.
Can Zamboanga finish up Noel Grandjean towards the end of the first?
Belly down. Trying to apply the squeeze a bit high.
She slid her arm under the chin, attempting the rear naked choke, but Grandjean defended well, staying composed under pressure. As the clock ran down, Denice transitioned to a neck cranking guard, but Grandjean survived the bell. Round two, Denice opened with a clear right hand. Grandjean was struggling with the reach now, unable to find her range, eating jabs every time she tried to close distance. Denice threw a high kick that Grandjean blocked easily. Then Grandjean rushed forward, pushed Denice against the cage, and unloaded a flurry of strikes. Brief success. Denice circled away and reset to the outside, where she controlled the fight.
As Noel tries to back her up, gets into the clinch. Good job pressing her up against the wall. Might look for a trip, but a beautiful job to negate that.
Round three, Grandjean's right eye was swollen now. A cut had opened near the eye, and the damage from the first 2 rounds was showing. Denice stayed on her bicycle, moving, jabbing, landing clean combinations to the head and body. Grandjean passed forward, looking for anything that might change the momentum, but Denice stayed just out of reach, picking her apart until the final bell. Unanimous decision. Denice Zamboanga, 3 straight wins now. The comeback was complete. In the post-fight interview, she was honest, happy to win, disappointed the game plan had to change because she spent months preparing for Stamp, and instead of a world title fight, she got a short-notice replacement and another unanimous decision. But she also said something else that mattered more. She wanted to be active. Wanted the interim title if one would give it to her. Wanted anyone they'd put in front of her because sitting around waiting for Stamp's knee to heal wasn't going to get her closer to the belt. 6 months later, one champion gave her exactly what she asked for, the most dangerous grappler in the division, an interim title, and a chance to prove that the 5-year wait list was finally over. Alyona Rassohina, One Fight Night 27, January 10, 2025. Alyona Rassohina, Ukrainian grappling machine. 13 fights, 10 ended by first-round armbar. She had submitted Stamp Fairtex, the undisputed champion, with a guillotine choke. Armbar entries from every position on the ground, and a career built entirely on ending fights before fighters even understood what was happening on them. One champion had canceled Denice's title shot 3 separate times: Angela Lee's pregnancy in 2020, the Ham decisions in 2021 and 2022, Stamp's knee injury in May 2024, 3 weeks before the rescheduled fight. 3 times the belt had been right there. 3 times something outside Denice's control ripped it away. She didn't hold a press conference about it. She probably made one cell phone call to one champion: give me the interim title fight. Give me the most dangerous woman available, and I will be ready. They gave her Rassohina, and Stamp Fairtex was sitting ringside at Lumpinee Stadium to watch it happen. January 10, 2025. Bangkok live on Prime Video. The bell rang, and Rassohina shot it immediately, dragged Denice to the canvas before 30 seconds had passed. The arena held its breath. This was exactly where the armbar specialist lived. On top, hunting with 10 finished careers is evidence that what she was about to do was real.
Scrambles out. Beautiful sprawl. End up inside control. Under a minute remaining here in the first round. Denice Zamboanga inside control against Alyona Rassohina.
Denice escaped, back on her feet, fired punches on the outside. Rassohina shot again. This time Denice sprawled, fought for the top position, and crawled into side control as the round wound down. Rassohina locked up an inverted triangle with seconds left, not enough time.
Rassohina trapped in the arm, right? Triangles the arm. Zamboanga free up, inverted triangle possibly. Rassohina's threatening with various attacks.
Round 2, Denice boxing sharp, composed, every shot landed clean. Rassohina shot in. Same answer, sprawl, top position, and this time Denice didn't let her up. Elbows, hammer fist, shot after shot from above until referee Herb Dean stepped in. 4 minutes and 47 seconds of round 2. Denice Zamboanga collapsed on the canvas and screamed. 5 years of canceled title shots, controversial decisions, and a division that kept telling her to wait compressed into 1 second in a packed Bangkok stadium. Interim one women's atomweight champion. First Filipina MMA world champion in history. Performance of the night, $15,000 extra. Stamp Fairtex walked into the ring, hugged her, and pointed to her own belt. The unification fight was the last chapter. Then Stamp's knee didn't heal. She withdrew from 1-173. At May 2025, one championship made it official. Stamp relinquished the undisputed title. Denice was elevated. Undisputed champion, no final battle needed. She never got to the fight that was supposed to crown her. She became champion anyway. Denice Zamboanga armbarred Hai Soo Kim in a casino venue nobody outside the Philippines was watching. She TKO'd Un Bai Cho at Araneta and earned her one contract. She submitted a national judo champion in 88 seconds on a bubble card in Bangkok. She crawled back from 2 losses on home soil in Manila and refused to let the critics write the ending. She then walked into the most dangerous grappling matchup they could make for her and took the woman who had submitted the champion apart in round 2. Undisputed one women's atomweight champion, first Filipino MMA world champion, still only 28. The brother who taught her self-defense didn't know he was building this, but the rest of the world does now. If you want to know more stories about other fighters on our channel, you've got to check this video. This is Punch Club, fellas. Y'all got any ideas? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.